Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and in this video, wanted to show you a few spots you can AFK grind for levels in Final Fantasy XII Zodiac Age. Couple things first. For one, AFK farming is the act of setting party member gambits in such a method that, against certain enemy packs, creates an infinite loop of killing and respawning enemies. This allows you to basically leave the game on overnight or when you go to work, and keep leveling and accruing license points. Second, I will say that I only really recommend doing this if you plan on taking on like post-game content where high-level characters are really going to help. It pretty much ruins any difficulty the story of the game might have by doing this, so only do it early if you really don't care about the difficulty of the story. Alright, so for both of these tips, because the game is on PS4, make sure to turn your PlayStation 4's rest mode off entirely before attempting this, or you'll be sad when you come back and your PS4 is in rest mode because no one was operating it. Also, I've included the recommended gambit setups you're going to hear me talking about in this video in the description of the video. So the first AFK spot is one of the most popular ones since the game came out over a decade ago, the Negalmuur AFK trick. Negalmuur is a rare game that spawns in the Ward of the Sword King in the Still Shrine of Miriam. He can only be spawned by completing two conditions. One, you must be in the Still Shrine of Miriam for a minimum of 30 minutes. Yes, 30 real minutes. It could be any of the rooms in any of the zones in the Still Shrine, but you have to be inside the Still Shrine for at least that time. No, unfortunately, speeding the game up 4 times doesn't make it go any faster. Trust me, I tried. Second, you must eliminate Darkmare in the Ward of the Sword King. Once both conditions have been met, zone into the ward and walk towards the sideways T part of the map and Negalmuur will spawn. I just recommend killing Darkmare and then just zoning over into the same zone as the save crystal, and then just waiting 30 minutes there. It's the easiest way. So the trick to this AFK leveling method lies in Negalmuur's necromancy skill. Every few seconds, he'll use it to spawn a skeleton, which you'll then kill, and then he'll respawn it in an infinite loop. Each skeleton is worth about 300 EXP and 1 LP before factoring in any bonuses from accessories. In order to eliminate them in an endless loop without killing Negalmuur, just make sure that you set your only attack gambits to attack monsters with less than 3000 HP, so if you don't own that gambit, go buy it. Negalmuur himself has about 18k HP, so if you do this, your party will just not attack him. That isn't the only potential threat though. Negalmuur himself does do some physical and magical attacks, so you'll need to survive these endlessly. Setting up a curing gambit and a charge gambit to restore MP when it gets low will also be important. And finally, Negalmuur has several status effects he can apply. Most often he will confuse or doom. Confuse can be risky, so either forego the double EXP and wear black belts, or set a gambit to Asuna or attack the confused ally, somebody who won't kill that ally at the same time. The more threatening status is definitely Doom though, since it spells automatic death after the countdown finishes. This would be fine with raised gambits or phoenix downs, but you run the risk of the party leader being killed and not raised fast enough. If you aren't raised fast enough, you'll get stuck on that choose a new party leader screen and your AFK farm is just ruined. To help circumvent this, make sure to set the decoy ability to cast on party members other than the party leader. You could set it on one or both of the allies, with both being preferred. This means that even if someone gets doomed, he's going to go for the second decoy target instead of your party leader. You just don't want decoy on your party leader. The other piece that will help, and I recommend you do both of these things, is to bring along someone with Remedy Lore 3 from their license board and set a gambit to use a remedy whenever the party leader gets doomed. You only want the gambit to be targeted on the party leader. Don't do any remedy or they're going to be gone in like an hour. You can buy these from vendors very late in the game, but prior to it you'll likely be a bit short. You can do it without the remedies. In fact, I don't know if you can hear it, but my controller is vibrating right now because I'm doing it without the remedies as we speak. But alternatively, you could try to get some ribbons, which is a bit easier in Zodiac Age than the original game, but unless you get those remedies, you're running a bit of a risk. Now, if everything goes according to plan, you'll be cranking in the EXP for hours and hours. However, I do want to take the time to talk about the pros and cons of this method. For one, it's easy to replicate and it's very consistent. It can be done at relatively early levels and has a low chance of breaking the chain if your gambits are set up properly. The con, and the biggest one for me, is it takes 30 minutes to set up, which requires you to just Netflix and chill while you wait. Make sure you don't forget to set that under 3000 HP gambit before you start also. You don't want to waste that 30 minutes by not remembering to set that gambit, walking out and just immediately killing Negalmuur by accident. You're also heavily restricted as to what jobs are viable to level with this method, since you want things like Decoy and Remedy Lore 3. You may end up having characters that almost always need to be present depending on the job setup. Now, Negalmuur and this next method definitely worked better in the original game, but they're still doable in Zodiac Gauge, and that's a question I've been getting a lot. The other method I'd like to talk about is something I call slime time. Once you gain access to the hen mines later in the game, there's a room called the Pit Head Junction B, where after interacting with the gate button, several slimes will ambush the party. You can use Junction A, but Junction B has more enemies, so I guess it depends on which one you're more comfortable with. The beauty is, if you kill the slimes with Break, aka petrifying them to death, they'll just keep respawning infinitely. Now the gambits for this one are super simple. You have to have a time battle mage present with Break in the party and set them to use it on both the nearest and furthest enemies. Make that 2 separate gambits. Sometimes if you just set it to nearest, there'll be like one that's kinda hard for them to reach, so they just won't even try, so I do nearest and farthest. Then set a decoy gambit on your tankiest member and any cure and charge gambits you have. Now spawn the slimes and go to town. The slimes themselves do inflict poison, which I recommend you just ignore. It applies far too frequently for you to properly counter it. More importantly, they inflict confuse, just like Negalmuur, which can be circumvented in the same ways. You want us to have everyone wear black belts. The main disadvantage here, of course, being you don't get to wear embroidered tippets for double EXP. The other safe method is to unequip your weapons and only use shield and armor. Most of the time, the slimes just immediately hit and unconfuse your decoy target, but if the decoy target has a weapon equipped, there's a chance they're going to make it to your other party members and mess them up a little bit. Once you're confident you have it set up, walk into the room and spawn the slimes, and then go to bed or whatever. Each slime you kill will net you about 300 EXP, just like the skeletons from Negalmuur. So this is my preferred method, and it's got some important pros over Negalmuur. For one, it's less strict on gambit assignment. It's super easy, just cure, charge, and break. Those are like the most important things. You don't need any attack things other than the time battle mage on break. So it's very, very easy to make these gambits, and it's available for more jobs. 2 is that it's faster to set up, as in it doesn't take 30 minutes, which in case you couldn't tell, I didn't like about the Negalmuur thing. So if you just have to leave in like 10 minutes, you can feasibly set this one up. Another thing is, the party leader is at much less threat here, or at least they don't need as many items, or you don't need like remedies or stuff like that in order to ensure their safety. The cons are also a bit more perilous though. For one, and this is the most annoying one, the slimes sometimes kind of just push you around the room as you're fighting. They can back you into a corner, and then they die to the break, and then you're in the corner not able to respawn any more bad guys, which is going to suck if you wake up and you're alive, but there's nothing that you're fighting. They'll respawn as soon as you walk back to the middle of the junction. The problem is, you need to walk back into the middle of the junction. 2 is that these guys are a bit more threatening than Negalmuur sans the Doom. I just mean their outright damage can beat a squishy down real fast if you're at the lower levels. So make sure that if you do have squishies that you're afraid might die using this method, that you have the double decoy thing set up maybe as a backup to keep them away from that person, or maybe just be a higher level, or wear something a bit more durable. I'd say the biggest con is something you heard me say right at the beginning of this method, is that while I said the gambits are less strict, you do need a battle mage in order to do this. A time battle mage, I should say, since they are the only job in the game that gets break. Even though some of the other jobs get access to some time magic, they don't get access to break. So having a time battle mage is your only option. If you wanted to do a playthrough without a time battle mage, but you're interested in this method, too bad. You're going to need to go make another save file if you want to use this method. So both methods run some risk, and they have a lot of rewards if you're able to just let it go over several hours. Like I said, I'm in the middle of doing this video, doing it right now. So it's not that bad to do, and it's yet to fail. I don't even have the remedy set up, and I'm doing the Negalmuur strat right now. Figure if it took me 30 minutes to set up, I might as well record some videos while it actually works. And it's going well so far. I think I've gained like 2 or 3 levels while I've been writing the script and recording this video. But that being said, I said it earlier, if you do this early, it's going to ruin kind of the gameplay experience. And with the 4 times speed, while yes, the AFK methods are more efficient, so is just straight up leveling in this game nowadays. Just set the right gambits to like run through a zone and just destroy everything, and then just kind of run in circles and Netflix and chill. Either way, they're both pretty hands-off experiences. You don't really need to do much in terms of active effort. Just do it if you're going for the post-game stuff, you know? Unless you really don't care about the story because you've beaten it a million times and you just want to get to that post-game stuff to see how the job system or filling out the license board itself actually feels. There's lots of okay reasons to do it in Zodiac Gauge. But on that note, I'm going to wrap this up. I've got some other videos I want to get to regarding tips and tricks, more early game ones, weapon locations, and how to get some of the more powerful stuff early in the game, and then certain job choices that can be beneficial for the early parts of the game as well. Thank you for watching this video. Be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and share, and stay tuned. We'll have more Zodiac Age videos coming soon. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.